Hello everyone, I'm Krasi. Zori Dimitrova is here with me today. We will be talking about something very interesting which Zori understands a lot from, and this is the manifestations of what we want to achieve, but related to astrology. So, hello Zori.
Hi Krasi, good to be again on your channel, thanks.
Yes,
Hello.
thank you. Yes, this conversation is something it's something huge because it must involve free will, it must involve what is predetermined as seen through the horoscopes of people, but and based on what we see in the horoscopes and what we don't see and what we want to achieve, I will be asking you about how to manifest it, Zori. And of course, we'll be talking about astrology. But say just with 2 words about this manifestation, because I know that you're doing a lot in relation to manifestation techniques, different, some of them you developed yourself based on existing techniques. So I'm giving the word to you entirely.
You know, I was first getting interested in all these things together with the first wave of the law of attraction movement. And from this point on, I just started researching more and more because, first of all, it sounded a bit like a miracle, and it really wasn't functioning that well to the level that they explained it. And there's a lot behind. And the more you dig into it, the more you find out. And I've been practicing different methods for manifestation, and I've achieved a lot of things in my life using these methods. So I definitely can say that I've managed to manifest. So it's not something that I talk about without experience, you know, just on the basis of some principles. I've actually applied these things. And now I'm teaching, maybe some of your viewers may know that I'm teaching a course called The Other 96%, that is mostly based on the Silva method of mind control and situation control. And at that time, before the law of attraction came out, 50 years before that, in 66, this is when Jose Silva started using manifestation as a tool, but he called it situation programming. So this thing is not new. It didn't come up with the law of attraction. It exists for hundreds of years. People have coined it in different ways. I believe in the beginning of the century, it was Earth Nightingale that wrote a book. That was really like in 1909 or something like that. And I think that was the first ever book that was really nicely summarized about manifestation. But what I've noticed is that manifestation works only if you don't tie it very closely to timing. So you allow it to envelop whatever you're aiming for at its own time. And this ties very nicely with astrology, because you always say there is no free will, or really very limited free will, and things come to us whenever they're celestial placements.
Yeah, there's a thing that we have the horoscopes. We come with the horoscopes like it's our maybe passport or contract or agreement that we come with, and our destiny and the events are encoded there, and it works astrologically to predict events. So you predict the marriage or non-marriage, you predict children or no children, you predict jobs, and you predict events. That's it. You just predict them. You see them in the chart and you predict, and very rarely they wouldn't happen. But you say manifestation. So from my perspective, and I have some experience already with quite some horoscopes which I read, and I've seen that what is seen in the horoscope is happening. It's taking place. How about these other things which are not visible in the horoscope? Like some people would say, for example, you want profession which is not encoded in the horoscope, which is not given. And I do believe that we do have a very small, tiny free will. And then if we open the topic about free will, we can talk, I know, one day. But how do you see this? Because I still believe, and I still insist, that what is predetermined, you see in the horoscope, and it happens.
Yeah. Well, there are two things. One of them is that for some people, for things to happen for some people, they would need to take action, even if it's in their own mind. So they may have to actually learn how to manifest in order for things to happen. Even this is described in the horoscope. For some of them, it would happen the natural way, but then these horoscopes would probably describe a person that is rather technocratic, and the envelopment of their destiny is not so linked to usage of the mind. There are different kinds of people, but now for some people, whatever they manifest would work anyway, and you'll probably also see it in the horoscope if they're about to manifest something that is wrong, that is not on their path. You'll probably be able to see something that is being manifested but not exactly aligned with their life path, right? So yeah, people can manifest things. Very often they retract, so they first come about but they have a very short life and then they disappear. For example, you call in a relationship that is not right for you, that is not what you really want, because you haven't discovered inside of you, haven't gotten to know yourself. But by getting to know yourself, you expand your consciousness, you realize you're a part of the whole, so you rise in vibration. So if you just want things without having expanded your consciousness, you tend to attract things that are very short-lived because you haven't dialed on the right path.
So it's
and
all
that's
about
why
vibrations. Again, vibrations.
It's about vibrations, but it's not like, oh, if I am constantly happy and always in a good mood, I'm going to attract the things that are good for me. You may attract things and then lose them again. It's about knowing that you're walking on the right path, about expanding your consciousness and realizing that you're only a part of the whole, seeing yourself as a part of the big being. And when you realize that, even if you, first of all, then your goals would be much clearer. So you wouldn't want some petty stuff that are irrelevant, right? And then the manifestation will actually happen because you have purpose. You know that you're acting out of divine will.
But before going into details, because I will ask you, Zori, that you give us some instructions before going into this. I also it's important to say for people who are interested in astrology that what I learned with the time, I didn't find this in books, but from my experience, I learned indeed that how exactly the planets are manifesting, in what way they give their energies in the horoscope, indeed would depend on the level of the consciousness, exactly like what you said, and obviously on the level of the person's consciousness depends how far he or she will go with manifesting, right? So
yes, I guess that's right. And this also gives me the question then, when you're making a reading and you say it depends whether you would use the higher vibration of this position of the planet, of this placement, or the lower vibration of this placement. But I wonder whether people actually have a chance to choose between the higher or the lower vibration, or whether this is also encoded.
How we have a chance.
Would.
Well, we do have, and this is why we came to learn this, exactly this. I think this is the purpose, the sole purpose, because you exactly to learn. These are the lessons. These are the lessons. Whether you choose, take as example Saturn, whether you choose the low vibrations of Saturn, which would be to be angry, to be envious if you want, to be always with a grim face, or you would choose to be wise, to accept reality, to be truthful, to understand the laws of justice, to be satisfied with the reality and not to deny it. You see, these are the two levels of the manifestations of the energies of Saturn, for example. And it's a matter of choice. And also to be exact or to be not punctual. This is also this Saturn and that Saturn, see? So yes, when you see the placement of Saturn, you can already judge how the person is doing on these levels. But through knowledge, because everyone has a chance for growth, every soul, through knowledge and understanding, people can outgrow the low energies of Saturn, which can manifest. They will always manifest in one or another way. They will, but the question is that we're here to learn. And I already seen an astrologer who would explain you how your planets manifest, because this is very important, and I do this every time. Then people know what to work on, because we came to work. That's it. It's a planet for work. So yes.
Yeah, you know that there are two ways to grow, or in a soul way. One is through suffering, and the other one is through realization that you're a part of the whole. Through seeing
Exactly.
the whole, right? And so manifestation deals with the second part, especially the one that I'm teaching. So it teaches seeing yourself as a part of the matrix and understanding other people, other relationships, seeing yourself as a part of a network. And you have a purpose, but your purpose is also so that everybody else is doing well. Your purpose is not to elbow people and go ahead. Your purpose is to make sure that the being is fine. You know, you, as represented by one finger on your body, you want to make sure that the whole body is fine. Otherwise, the finger will have no existence. So I suppose this is the higher manifestation of soul growth. It's accessing the consciousness and realizing that you're a part of it. And this is what manifestation is, and this is how you can control your life and your environment.
Yes.
With
Yes.
minding that you're a part of the whole.
And we are right. We were talking with you the other day that the soul, the common soul of everyone, right? It's like one big piece of soul, which has, right? What was this? It was very interesting. Gnostic knowledge, right? What was this about? Remind me.
This was this from the movie Initiation, maybe, that Cindy recommended?
No, it was about this 144. This magical number, which was representing the number of the common soul of humanity. It's like we're part of one. We're just one soul, which is divided into pieces, but it's always the same amount of souls, actually, which is here. So we're one.
Yeah, this comes from Kabbalah. They actually state, or they answer the question: how is it possible that that reincarnation happens? Where do the souls come from? If there were so few people before, and now suddenly there's a huge population, where does this population growth of souls? They have no souls. And the way Kabbalah answers it is that there is a soul weight, a measurement. They don't measure it in units, but it's the unit, let's call it just a number. It's 600,000. And so once, with the progression of each reincarnation, when more and more people are being born, this overall soul, which is not the earth soul, this is the soul of, all the particles in the universe, of the being. This is the weight of the being. So it starts multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. So this means that it's breaking in smaller and smaller pieces in order to view itself from different viewpoints, to understand reality. So people, the fact that there are more people on earth now just means that there are smaller pieces of the bigger soul. They carry a smaller particle of the bigger soul.
But the whole thing is just to, once again, confirm that we are one, and we need to come and start from this perspective, that we are one, and that we need to live with this consciousness, right? So that we can manifest.
Yes, the reason why manifestation doesn't work is that very often it comes from ego. This is what the law of attraction doesn't tell you. It tells you can manifest whatever you want. You can call in money, you can call in luxurious things in your life. But when you manifest from ego, this is only temporary, and things are taken from other parts of your life because you're not giving. This is when you're only receiving. And at some point, and at some point, this will need to be compensated. So the fact that you're receiving, but you're not giving something, so something else will be taken away from you. And therefore, the manifestation that is healthy to practice and aligned with everything in the universe is the manifestation where you also give. And you can give in terms of positive emotions, in terms of wishing somebody well or choosing their well-being. That doesn't mean choosing their well-being on behalf of yours, but seeing them also happy with your goal, you know.
Give us examples, sorry, how you practice.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes,
it's
give us.
Explain in this short video because I make a whole course on that.
We will put links under this video. People who are interested, I followed your course and it is really amazing. Let's see if it will work in long term. It looks like it will, as I hear from other people who also followed the same course. But we'll put links under this video. But please give us example on how it works. Just a small, lead us through the process briefly. I know it's not just into words. It can be said, but just to give us hope. I know it, I've been to your course, but just to make it clear to more people that actually it's angelic. First, you forgot to say something important. It's angelic method. It comes from angels, right? It's not, and then just lead us through the process briefly.
Well, it's angelic. It's not defined as angelic, but Jose Silva, who designed this system first, he said he received it in a dream from something that he calls an angel.
So we can say so, yeah.
But you know, then he developed it with practical research. So it's a long story, you know, what came first and where does the truth lie. But there was definitely some divine intervention for him to download this information. So I'm going to give you just a brief summarized version of one of the tools, the most common one.
Because I know it serves many purposes. It works for healing, it works for, just give us the manifestation brief explanation how it works.
So whenever you're manifesting, so in the Silva method, I practice manifestation. The tool that I teach is from the Silva method. So the way it works is that first you imagine in front of you the situation that you're in right now. Then to the left, you imagine the situation where you want to be in. But while you're doing that, you have to involve all your feelings, all your sensations and imagery, because the subconscious mind, where you can mold reality, works with imagery and with emotion. This is how you can reshuffle things. This is how you can raise your vibration. This is how you can delete traumas. This is how you can improve self-confidence, and so on and so on. So the way to work with manifestation, with the matrix in general, is always through imagery and emotions. So the more emotions, the more you're into the picture, the more you open up. And how you go into the picture. So before you start with the whole process, you go in alpha level. Alpha level in general is just a very deep relaxation just before you go to sleep. I will not now explain.
No. I said just very briefly to give us idea. No, you don't need to go into details.
So you need to be very relaxed before you start doing it. Then in front of you, you imagine the current situation. To the left of you, you imagine the situation of the picture where you want to find yourself in. So the manifested reality. Then you engage other people that would benefit from your solution. And then you start invoking feelings, you know, sending them love, sending them blessings, seeing them happy. And this represents the giving, what you're giving to the picture, you know, experiencing these emotions and seeing them happy. You know, you're giving happiness to somebody else. Once you have this picture, you move it in front of you from the left to the center. And your current situation, you move from the center to the right, which represents the past. And that's it.
Zori, important thing I want to say is you mentioned before that it doesn't ever work with negative, malefic purposes. It's very important to say it works only for good, for to help the consciousness, to help everyone. It's always for good. It's never ever harming anyone. This is very important. If you try, it wouldn't work, right? In this way.
it wouldn't work because the matrix works on the basis of love. This is what created the reality in the first place. And the matrix is God. So once you access the matrix, you need to be on this level of vibration. So you need to be filled with love and wish the best for anybody. The moment you start having negative feelings of revenge or of, you know, just bad thoughts about somebody, you will go out of alpha level, so you won't be able to see anything and to access this reality.
Oh, okay. So let's go back to astrology. So we see situation when the person is there is something that he's missing in the horoscope, he or she, and want to achieve it. So receiving this information, he or she would understand that only through love, good, like what is God is love, God is good, right? You can get into this state of manifesting, but only and only if you vibrate really on a high level of consciousness. You cannot do it if you wish tomorrow to buy this and that car, or only because you just want to do this for your ego. It has to do good also for the others, for the community, for the people which surround you, right? So this is important clarification.
For this method, yes. Otherwise, there are lots of other tools that you can use to manifest short-term goals. But as I said, these would be one time and then maybe they'll disappear.
Oh, Zori, you know what we say in Bulgarian? You know it. But the master Pain Sadunu is saying, if you want short result, if you want short result, get pumpkin. If you have patience, you want a good result, you're going to get an oak, right?
No, I didn't know this one.
So if you want fast result, pumpkin you will get, right? It grows in 1 month. But if you really want something that will stay valuable in your life and that others will also benefit from, you need an oak. Then you need patience.
Yeah, and also it doesn't mean that that you're not getting results fast. But it depends what you want. If you dial in correctly on the right goal that is aligned with your soul purpose and aligned with the principles of existence, the principles of the being, which are based on love, then you can get immediate results.
Absolutely.
Within days or even the next day.
Well, Zori, this was very interesting, and I think we can close here because not to dilute it. It's so good. I would rather leave it here. And thank you so much. People who really like to follow your class, I did, and I really recommend it. It was amazing, and we were in small groups, and it's just very nice. So all your details should be. But people who are following my channel know you, because this is not our first conversation. So yes, I highly recommend it. This was amazing, and it serves for healing. Diagnosing health conditions, which works. For this, I was very attracted to this, for the diagnosing of health conditions, because I do this astrologically. I am very attracted to the medical astrology, and I was thinking that even this, if you add to medical astrology, it becomes miraculous tool for diagnosing people and help them really. So yes, it's for diagnosing, manifesting. What else was it? We had 5 main purposes.
For healing, for deep learning, you can do psychometry. Find lost objects. You can get information or get in contact with your intuition, with your counsel. You can get better decision making in general in your life.
Learning. Here you said that Jose Silva, his son, had studying deficiencies, and this is why he developed the method to help him, right? To improve his skills.
His daughter, she's now the president of the Silva Foundation, so she definitely doesn't have any learning.
Oh, it was his daughter. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Zori. Thank you, and see you soon again.
Thank you, Krasi. Thanks.